Hello everyone, I'm Sabuza. As we all know, the world is a very big place, and it's possible to encounter unexpected and peculiar bans in various countries around the globe. These prohibitions are often associated with the cultural, religious, or historical context of a country and can appear quite intriguing from an outsider's perspective. Today, I'm going to show you some of these bans. Talking to birds in the United States. In the United States, talking to birds is prohibited in some national parks and protected areas. This ban is in place to protect wildlife and avoid disturbing birds. Talking to birds can affect the natural behavior of some sensitive species, and such behavior can cause stress to birds. In addition, noise and disturbance by humans can affect the breeding and feeding behavior of birds, which can upset the balance of the ecosystem. For this reason, national parks and protected areas often warn visitors not to interact with birds. To observe and photograph birds, visitors are advised to be quiet and try to impact wildlife as little as possible. The ban on talking to birds aims to raise awareness among visitors about wildlife conservation and environmental sensitivities. In the United States, bird talk bans play an important role for the sustainability and diversity of national parks and protected areas. Such bans encourage people to respect wildlife and take care to protect it. Dance in India. Religious groups in some states have banned or restricted certain types of dance. The prohibition or restriction of dance in certain areas in India is a complex issue based on various religious and cultural beliefs. In India, the prohibition or restriction of certain types of dance in some states and communities is often based on religious or cultural norms. Especially in rural areas or traditional communities, it is common to prohibit certain types of dance during regional festivals or worship ceremonies. These dances are often considered modern or contemporary dance forms, and some religious leaders or communities may consider such dances to be contrary to traditional values or religious beliefs. In particular, some religious groups may criticize and push to restrict certain types of dance due to concerns of obscenity or moral degradation. Such bans are usually imposed at specific events or within communities, and usually cover a specific area or time period. However, just as there is no India-wide ban on dance, such restrictions are not absolute and may vary on a regional or community basis. As a result, dance bans or restrictions in India reflect the complexity of religious, cultural, and societal dynamics, and may not be a common practice in a particular community. The use of emojis in Russia. The use of emojis in Russia has caused controversy, especially the banning of emojis containing LGBT symbols on some platforms. This situation is discussed in connection with the problems in the country regarding LGBT rights and the state's stance on this issue. In Russia, there are some limitations and discriminatory laws on LGBT rights and recognition of communities. The state does not follow a clear policy on LGBT rights and strictly controls content containing LGBT symbols in order to protect traditional family values. This is also reflected in social media platforms and communication practices. Some social media and communication platforms are trying to comply with the country's laws by banning or restricting emojis containing LGBT symbols in Russia. This can be seen as a measure for platforms to maintain their operations in Russia and avoid problems with the government. However, such restrictions have often faced criticism and been seen as a violation of human rights by LGBT rights advocates. The censorship or prohibition of symbols of the LGBT community can be interpreted as a restriction on freedom of expression and may reinforce discrimination and prejudices in society. As a result, such restrictions on the use of emojis in Russia are part of the discussions regarding LGBT rights in the country and reflect the government's control over social media and communication platforms. This situation is considered an important factor in the struggle for freedom of expression and LGBT rights in the country. Wearing high heels in Japan. Wearing high heels is prohibited at some temples and traditional sites. The prohibition or restriction of high heels in Japan at some temples and traditional sites stems from the country's deeply rooted cultural and religious sensitivities. Japan is a country that places great importance on traditional values and spiritual beliefs. Temples and traditional sites are a central element of Japanese culture, and it is important that these places are considered sacred and protected. These sites are often visited respectfully by visitors, and visitors are expected to follow certain rules of behavior. High-heeled shoes can damage or wear out traditional Japanese floors. In addition, high heels can make it difficult to follow traditional rules of behavior, such as silence and respect. For this reason, some temples and traditional sites advise visitors to wear flat-soled shoes or walk barefoot. However, banning or restricting high heels is not a common practice throughout Japan. Rather, in traditional and sacred sites, certain rules are enforced to ensure that visitors behave in a respectful manner and that these sites are protected. Such rules reflect the deep fabric and spiritual values of Japanese culture. Ketchup in France. For a while, ketchup was banned in some schools. The banning of ketchup in some schools in France is intended to promote healthy eating and enable children to make more balanced food choices. Some ready-made sauces, such as ketchup, are generally known for their high sugar and salt content and can cause health problems if consumed regularly. It is important that children eat a balanced and healthy diet, especially during school meals. While ketchup is often used to flavor food, it not only adds flavor, but can also contribute to extra sugar and salt intake. For this reason, some schools in France aim to steer students towards healthier food options by restricting or banning the use of ketchup. Such measures aim to improve the quality of the food served in school meals and encourage children to adopt more conscious eating habits. A ketchup ban can be seen as a step towards promoting healthy eating and tackling issues such as obesity. Such policies can help children adopt a healthy lifestyle and maintain healthy eating habits into adulthood. However, there is ongoing debate about whether such bans are effective and how they affect students' dietary choices. Chewing gum in Singapore. Chewing gum in Singapore was banned in 1992, and the main reason for this ban is to maintain public order and cleanliness in the city. Chewing gum can make it difficult to keep sidewalks and streets clean due to gum being discarded in the streets and public areas. Chewing gum can stick to sidewalks and other surfaces, causing hard-to-remove stains and a dirty appearance. In addition, chewing gum can make the work of street cleaning crews more difficult and increase cleaning costs. However, with chewing gum becoming a common habit, problems can also arise with proper disposal of used gum and cleaning up gum residues. Therefore, the authorities in Singapore have decided that chewing gum on the streets should be banned or restricted. The gum ban is a measure to maintain cleanliness and order in the city. It also aims to increase public awareness of general hygiene and orderliness. Enforcing this ban promotes Singapore's world-renowned sense of cleanliness and order and enhances the city's attractiveness. Teasing in Australia. In Australia, teasing is regulated by law and taken seriously. Teasing is when one person harasses, or behaves in an offensive way towards another person. This behavior can be physical, verbal, or emotional, and usually happens without the person's consent. In Australia, bullying laws aim to protect people's safety and well-being. Bullying is behavior that can infringe on a person's freedom, peace, and safety, and can therefore have serious consequences. The laws cover different forms of bullying and aim to prevent one person from causing physical, emotional, or financial harm to another. Taunting laws are strictly enforced in Australia to prevent crime and maintain order in the community. These laws play an important role in protecting the general welfare and safety of the community and can carry serious penalties when breached. Taunting offenses can lead to police intervention, prosecutions, and criminal sanctions. Strict enforcement of defamation laws in Australia aims to protect the rights of individuals and maintain peace within the community. These laws provide effective protection against behavior that threatens people's freedom and safety and support Australia as a democratic society based on the rule of law. You may be surprised, but these prohibitions really exist. Today, we learned about the strange prohibitions in different countries. Thank you for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe for more.